This is the Samuel Edgar Band, and you're listening to the Literati Records podcast.
And I've been wishing so hard I'm about to lose my mind. Now I'm beginning to understand my true crime. That dreams without action are a waste of time. So get up, get up, get out, turn off the TV. We're still alive, baby, we're not through. So let go of the past, we've got a lot of living to do. It doesn't matter what other people think. Oh, it's your car to drive, it's your ship to sink. Oh, do you wanna dance until your soul is free? Do you have a heart left behind the weeds? Then get up, get out, turn off the TV and run around. We're still alive, baby, we're not through. So let go of the past, we've got a lot of living to do. Who cares about all the people who are missing out? Bogged down in fear and doubt. To get up and get out, turn off the TV and run around. We're still alive, baby, we're not through. So let go of the past, we've got a lot of living. Let go of the past, we've got a lot of living to do.
Welcome to episode 155 of the Literati Records podcast. I'm your host, Marcus, and I want to thank you for tuning in, turning on, and supporting independent music. Hey, my guests on the show today are the Samuel Edgar Band, whose new EP, Up to the Sky, was released today and is available through iTunes and Amazon.com. A few weeks ago, we sat down in their rehearsal space to talk about the music on the new EP and to get to know the band a little bit better. Our interview was a bit longer than usual, so I'll keep the intro brief today. You can find a complete track listing in the show notes on our website at www.literatirecords.com. Now, here they are, the Samuel Edgar Band. All right, I'm here with my guests, the Samuel Edgar Band, down in their back cave or underground rehearsal lair here. Anyway, let's start on my left here and get names and instruments.
I'm Samuel Edgar. I play guitar, piano, and sing.
I'm Neil Drager. I play bass and sing backing vocals.
I'm Ari Rubenstein. I play drums and sing backing vocals.
Well, congrats on the release of Up to the Sky, your new EP. Like your previous EP, Hatchet, Up to the Sky has some really great songs on it, but in many ways that's kind of where the similarities end. Hatchet felt more like a singer-songwriter folk-influenced album, and this one sounds much fuller. It's more like a complete band effort. Was that an intentional change, or just kind of how these songs happened to come together?
I think it was kind of how the whole project has evolved. The first EP was put out rather hastily and done the same way as this, organically, just ourselves. But we allowed ourselves a lot more time to really dig in a little bit and focus on the sound.
It felt like more of a band effort to me. I think one of the things with Hatchet, Sam had, like you said, a whole bunch of songs that he really wanted to get out. And they were really Sam's songs. They were things he'd been playing, for a long time. And we came in and put ourselves behind them and really tried to push those songs. The second batch, the new album is much more stuff that Sam brought in and said, hey guys, I wrote this. What do you think? Let's get together. Sam brought it in and it was a ballad. And Neil and I got our hands on it, and now it's a punk rock tune. So, I think you're hearing that group influence.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
And also just time and experience. We went through the first recording. We've been playing together since March of 2013. And now, since we did that first recording, and then now, what month is it? It's February, right?
Yeah.
So we released Hatchet in September. So we've had all this time where we've been just really continuing to evolve and grow from the experience with the first recording. And to me, that's like this cohesion, this group sound, the influence that all the different members are having around the production. Like, all of that is really about relationship and comfort, both musically and personally, as we grow into a more solid unit with its own identity and sound.
I think at the heart of what we do, we are still just a singer-songwriter band, because it all comes down to, it's rather simple chord progressions and melodies, but really great lyrics, and thought behind the ideas in the music.
Well, one of the best examples of that evolution that you're talking about can be heard on your track "Let's Get Together," which you guys it first appeared on Hatchet, but you guys reworked it and re-recorded it for Up to the Sky. Was there something that you heard in the new tracks or this particular band lineup that prompted you to re-examine that track?
Well, if we're going to be honest,
yeah, please.
That track on Hatchet, Sam brought to us the day we were down here recording. He had just written it.
Yeah, and I wanted to put it on. And I wanted it to be the connection between Hatchet and the next album. We talked about it intentionally because already at the point, like when the EP release was going on, Ari and Neil had found inspiration and started to transform that tune.
But that day we recorded Hatchet, we had never heard it before. Exactly. We didn't feel comfortable laying down tracks to it until we really got to know it. So initially that's why it was solo and him and it made sense that way.
And that was kind one take. The last song I did, I just sat down here by myself.
And I think our reluctance to put anything down behind it turned out good. I remember distinctly, we were playing this ballad and Sam stopped to tune or take a sip of water or something between takes, and Neil and I started playing that groove, and we were laughing, and Sam goes, "No, keep doing that," and it turned out awesome. So. Happenstance.
Well, another noticeable change from Hatchet are that some of the improvements in the overall sound and clarity of the tracks. Would you say that the lessons or recording techniques that you learned on the first EP paid off really big while recording this new one?
Absolutely. They can't see us, but we're all nodding.
Yeah. Why isn't anybody responding?
Both EPs were mixed solely by Sam. He kind of confined himself to the space and didn't want us to even hear him until he felt like they were feeling good, and then opened it up to us. And then, we all evaluated and tweaked as we saw fit. But I think, in terms of speaking about the growth from one to the other, that would be all Sam right there.
It was a little bit me, but it was a lot of us also. Like, I think we all had different conversations. Like, for example, Neil and I miking the upright bass on this album, on Up to the Sky. We took the lessons from Hatchet where I felt like we were missing part of the range, and the problem was miking. It wasn't even in the mixing necessarily, although pieces of it were. We just hadn't captured all the sounds. So this time, we actually put 4 mics on the upright bass. And we placed them strategically to capture both the sound of his hand up, on the fretboard and as it's, kind of moving on the strings
Right.
and then also like really deep around the pin and the F hole and that mix I think really helped. And then the other piece that's so just is mix, but also intention, right? Like, but the energy behind how you lay everything down. We found our process. We understood how to capture, or I think we've done a pretty good job of capturing our live sound, and also like isolating all the instruments and creating the right space. And so there's just been a lot of lessons learned.
Well, most of the tones and the vibe on Up to the Sky have a real authentic retro feel, especially a pseudo 50s-ish kind of sound. And there's definitely more groove to the bass and drums on this one, I believe, than Hatchet. Would you say that the music of the 50s and 60s was definitely an influence on you guys?
We didn't come at this with that intent, and it's interesting that it kind of shaped up that way.
Well,
Did you guys get that too? Do you kind of feel
As
like
it was
yeah.
happening, we heard it happening.
I approached certain aspects that way. I mean, I think I approached the groove for Get Up, with a very clear idea of that sort of vibe. But other than that, I think it happened fairly organically. And
It's probably why it sounds so authentic.
Because
Yeah.
it might actually be.
Yeah, exactly.
There was in the writing a bit of intention in that song in particular, like a little brief comment. There's a couple pieces. The "Do you want to dance" line, for example, that's like an immediate reference to another song from the era, And so there's like, for me, there's definitely some winks and nods in that song. I mean, it's authentic in the sense that I don't write towards a genre or time period. I just write whatever happens to be coming out.
I think more than writing towards a vibe or aiming for a vibe, we sort of mixed to a vibe. Once we had the tracks down and we were
Sure.
hearing that sort of thing, we said, okay, this sounds like something from this era. So how would they have mixed that?
Yep.
We don't have a genre, and I have no idea what the next EP is going to sound like.
Sure.
You don't know because we're not a blues band, we're not a rock and roll band,
Same.
we're not a funk band. We're just a band, and we're just playing songs and making music.
Fundamentally, when you listen to the songs, there's a lot of conflict. But I think there's a lot of conflict in a lot of music. But it's the angle with which you as a writer approach that conflict and work towards resolving those points of conflict in the song that I think sets a lot of your writing apart from the, kind of status quo of a lot of what I hear from singer-songwriters. You have a distinct voice and way of telling your story that's relatable to other people, but doesn't sound like derivative of every other singer-songwriter that I've heard who's talking about the chick who left, or the chick he wants, or, shit going on in his life. You have your own angle, and it's a very refreshing angle.
Thanks.
So that's my 2 cents anyway.
I, for years, have struggled with what I felt like was my basic, strong but gentle personality. Okay? Like, I grew up on a farm in a relatively traditional Jewish home, homeschooled in the woods. Okay? And I didn't go to school until I was 14, so my whole childhood was about responsibility. I was leading work crews of prisoners who came to volunteer on the farm when I was 11. I was teaching martial arts to adults at 12. I was wandering in the woods. I was doing theater. I was able to read all day because
Can't
I
wait
didn't
to
read-
read your autobiography.
I,
This is so much
I didn't
fun.
read till I was 8.5, but then once I was reading, I wasn't in school. So if I wanted to read for 6 or 7 or 8 hours a day, I just did.
You could.
I could, and I was helping my family and doing adult stuff. So when I finally came out into the world, and my parents are 40 years plus married, so I have this perspective on things that kind of like, and 3 sisters. So I have this perspective on things that I fought to maintain, which is something about, even with all the pornography in our lives, like allowing myself to still have like a sweet approach to love and human relationship. Like I'm trying to keep that peace intact, though it's assaulted on the regular.
Well, guys, thanks for taking the time to get together with us, man. It's been a pleasure talking about your new EP. And
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mark.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marcus. We appreciate
And you
it.
can check out more if you want to see it, SamuelEdgar.com and SoundCloud.com/Samuel Edgar. We're on Facebook.
And if you're lazy, that's all right. We'll have links to all this stuff in the show notes.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Mark.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for having us.
reach up to the sky, you might not return. There's no way to go so high and not be burned. I am dying inside, a poison that bides its time, but it will take my life, my life. I always was too kind to those of you on the outside. Well, I just closed my eyes to what was mine. It's getting harder to breathe. The air is so refined. Be sure to care for what you need, or you will decline. I am dying inside, a poison that bides its time, but it will take my life, my life. I always was too kind to those of you on the outside. Well, I just closed my eyes to what was mine. I want to breathe deep and have the air stick in my lungs. I want to sleep at peace, no longer worried about things I have done. There is still time for me to make something good of my life. And maybe I could be blessed with good health and a wife. I am dying inside, a poison that bides its time, but it will take my life, my life. I always was too kind to those of you on the outside. Well, I just closed my eyes to what was mine. I want to breathe deep and have the air stick in my lungs. I want to sleep at peace, no longer worried about things I have done. There is still time for me to make something good of my life. And maybe I could be blessed with good health and a wife. And there is still time for me to make something good of my life. And maybe I could be blessed with good health and a wife. The smoke goes in, I begin the smoke goes in, I begin to sin. I've been given life, been given wonders each day. I've been given life, been given wonders, watch me burn them away. Oh, the coffee comes, makes me feel alright, with my eyes closed. I don't need the light, I can taste the sweetness of truth on my tongue, and I can feel peace coming as God fills my lungs. Oh, the smoke goes in, I begin to sin. The smoke goes in and I fade away. Well, you could have been my lover, but you kept it undercover too long. And I can't change your resistance, won't ask for forgiveness. You are foolish, wasting time you could be spending with me. Don't press your cheek up against my face, finally realizing, but it's too late for you and your little dreams to soothe me. To see it too, but you could never cope. You'd find a short rope if you ever found out what you really missed. Well, you could have been my lover, but you kept it undercover too long. Too long, too long. And I can't change your resistance, won't ask for forgiveness. You are foolish, wasting time you could be spending with me. Don't press your cheek up against my face, finally realizing, but it's too late for you and your little dreams to soothe me. For you and your little dreams to soothe me. For you and your little dreams to soothe me. when it would need to be secret? Do you risk it all for golden blonde sweetness? So I'm trying to say no, but all of me is saying yes. I'm not a priest, but I live like one. No, I'm just a man, baby, wanna have some fun. Oh, a lovely girl that wants to be with me, and I can't say a word or keep my seat. Oh, what do you do when a girl's off limits like coffee date? Cause you both don't want the night to finish, and you eat dessert first, cause each other you'll never taste. Oh, what do you do when a girl's off limits and you're sitting in a field with her and the stars in it? Do you take her hand or take her home? I'm not a priest, but I live like one. No, I'm just a man, baby, wanna have some fun. A lovely girl that wants to be with me, and I can't say a word or people might see. Oh, what do you do when a girl's off limits like a lake at night, when you ain't allowed in it, and swimming's the one thing in the world that you want to do, that you want to do, that you want to do.